everyone. Fantastic day to you. It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome. I am Jumoke Alaude James, and I have my co-host here with me as usual. Today, I will start with Uwa. How are you?
I want to start with you. This, our rush makeup looks really, really good. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice.
Tokwe, can you allow me to talk, please?
Very, very nice.
Thank you, Tokwe. Uwa, how are you today?
Can you allow me to talk? She said she wants to start with me. After you drilled me on Monday, I'm fine. I'm all right.
That's the work of your director, is to make sure that you're prepared. An event is 70% preparation.
That's so true.
So the remaining that you do on that day, if you have already prepared, it will go smoothly.
That's so true. I mean, I've been getting a lot of positive calls, so hopefully, September 7th to 9th will be a success. I'm excited. How are you?
Congratulations. I'm doing very, very well. I woke up 7:30 today.
Ewo.
But
you survived. And you are here.
And I'm here.
And we're happy.
That's not nice.
Nima, how are you today? I like the orange combo. You are blending into the,
this is Wumi's work, everything. So Wumi,
really
well
nice,
done.
really
It's
nice.
Rolari's birthday today.
Whoa! Happy birthday,
And
Rolari.
on behalf of our mom, Auntie Annie, happy birthday, Rolari.
We know you never forget those kind of things.
Let me add our style of prayer. May the Creator answer all your prayers.
Amen. Does Rolari still watch?
I'm sure she'll be watching today because our mom made sure, she I called into her talk with her yesterday and then she mentioned it. So I'm sure she'll watch.
Okay, aside from the Rolari, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
I was just envying you this morning. I dare not wake up at 7:30. I dare not.
It's the grace of God.
I will need a chopper.
He maketh rich and does not add sorrows. Tokwe, how are you?
I'm good.
I like your dress.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm learning to focus and take out what is not necessary. I think a lot of times if you're multi-talented, you find yourself with your hands in many things. So you need to be conscious of what's your message. I've been working with a consultant and it's like, what's your message? Who are you? What do you want to speak to? So yeah, speaking to women, how are you addressing them? What do you want to achieve? And it made me feel really, really good that as much as I like other things I want to do, my core message is to empower women and is to strengthen them, to make them find the beauty in themselves. So I must stick to that message. It's not easy though, because you have to let go of things. Okay. I'm feeling good.
I thank God though that my own core message is to women
and
children.
I thought you were making money, Jumoke.
So women and children. You see, when you make money, because you know your purpose in life, the money you make is to fulfill your purpose. Money is not for you to sit down and come and start buying private jets. Fulfillment in life is when you're searching
our
other lives.
politicians need to hear that.
They don't know. It's ignorance that makes you chase after money without having a vision for what you want to use the money for. Lawyer, I also read international law and diplomacy, just in case you have a law event.
Well, today is the media training for domestic violence that will be going later.
Yes, I'm following you now.
Women and children.
You have dragged me along. As my focus is women and children, yes. I will follow you.
But when you are sending your bill is not smiling. I hope you know that. So for all those people out there, it's true now. What happened?
It is God that maketh rich and does not add sorrows.
No, but I want to be like Jumoke in terms of billing. Know what you're worth. Send the bill. Don't be scared.
I mean, 14 years in the industry, I know what I'm worth. Okay. So that's our banter this morning. We have a fantastic show planned. But before we go into it, we'll take the 4-page review. When we come back after this short break, please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This morning on Front Page Review, we start with The Punch. Why Buhari is receiving governors, others now, says the presidency. 7 APC PDP governors meet presidents in UK today. 9 Mobile appoints Citi Standard Bank to find new investors. 2 die as cholera outbreak hits Lagos. Court rejects Fayemi's bid to stop probe panel. How Dizani lavished $100 million on furniture artworks in US. Police arraign local government worker for sharing name with UK woman. Attacks. FRSC to prosecute Abia Speaker's wife. Others. We can't progress with 1999 Constitution, says Akonde. Osinbajo may swearing ministers today. Nigeria needs strong fiscal monetary policies to exit recession, says CBN. And there's a picture. Suspected kidnappers of the mother of Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State during their parade at the force headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday. So, do we want to take the
cholera outbreak? Lagos State Government, Ministry of Health.
We're going to take it in another paper, but go ahead.
Okay, there's a major one on the building collapse that I would love to take in nation, so I thought we'd take this one.
Go ahead.
The Ministry of Health in Lagos State addressed the media yesterday talking about cholera outbreak in certain local governments, particularly Shomolu in Lagos, following the flood that we had. And, you know, they said 27 cases were recorded, 25 were in the hospital, 2 had died. This is expected. But you know, we need to improve our hygiene. Personally, individually.
Well, you saw what happened with floods.
We need to improve our hygiene. The flood will happen, but you know, we cannot continue to contribute to the consequences of the flood.
The Commissioner for Information was talking, and he said that the death would not have happened if they had gone to the hospital on time.
Immediately.
Because, yes, immediately. So they saw the signs of the diarrhea. They didn't go to the hospital, and 1 person died.
Were they indigent?
Well,
Because
they would have gone to their primary health
center.
That was what he said. You know, so that would have been really avoidable if they had gone to the hospital on time.
So people should look out for symptoms of cholera.
And I heard him even over the radio when he was giving a speech saying that, you know, the guy, when there was flood in Lagos, that guy that was swimming in the flood water, you know, it might seem like it's okay, but the truth is that, you know, you're swimming in germs. I mean, there are failed sewage systems in Nigeria, soccerways and septic tanks and all that. So you cannot afford, you know, I cannot even step into flooded water.
Yeah.
It's very key
that
we take those.
Stay away.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. Moving on to the next paper, The Nation. Buhari, I will be back soon. While governor's delegation is meeting with president in London today, I'm making good progress. As soon as doctors advise, I shall return to my duties and continue serving the Nigerian people who elected me and are daily praying for my recovery. That's a quote from the president. Akonde, let's go back to 1963 Constitution. Economic recovery can relapse, warns CBN. Leaders kick as $1.5 billion loan for Lagos-Ibadan Railway is stuck. A major picture. 2 die, many fear trapped in Lagos building collapse. And so that's a picture of one of those rescued from the collapsed building yesterday. Nima, you were going to talk about that.
Yes, a building in, what do you call it? I forgot the street on the island. Building collapsed yesterday, a 4-story building. And according to the report, they said it was due to structural defects. But a telecom mast had just been placed on the building just a week before the collapse. And you know, that also could be responsible for the collapse. People were rescued, but they still have some families still trapped under. The ground floor was occupied by Buka. And most of the customers of that Buka owner were, the Alamala owner, businesswoman were trapped in the building. And I'm hoping that, you know, the rescue is done.
The rescue continues today.
Who are the regulators
the
of
building,
this? Yes, the regulatory body.
Ministry of Construction.
That is supposed to checkmate, you know,
campus, you know, campus streets. On the
and even there are some structures that are
There are some structures that need to be even demolished right now. They're already looking like
you know, but most of those buildings on the island have been there for years.
And a lot of them have been marked for demolition.
Which brings us to the point of the demolition that takes place on properties that are pricey and at juicy location. We need to demolish everywhere that can be at risk of people losing their life.
Some people will now start blaming the government again that they've demolished their house. So we just have to be aware that if you live in a building that is
has
not
been marked,
exactly,
be careful.
You are the one who is putting your life at risk.
I think the important thing is that we should understand the kind of structure that was there in the first place and know whatever kind of renovations and
that you can take,
new
which is
amendments
why to do renovations in Lagos, you need
must
to
get
go and
approval.
take approval
Some,
from the government.
some buildings
The
were
consequence
just
is that
probably one-story building.
Taking
I mean,
up.
one-floor building that they
in the
did not put
beginning.
into consideration when they were building the foundation.
The consequence
So
is
they
that
just
the
go
government-
and they raise these structures up without
The government
even
has the power to take
approval.
over the building, so you lose your leasehold.
Yeah. There's another picture of that same building in the Vanguard. Moving on quickly. I'm getting better. Buhari writes Guinean president. Recession. CBN warns that federal government records 2.51 trillion naira deficit in 6 months. National Assembly to vote on 32 constitution alteration bills today. Diarrhea outbreak in Lagos. 2 dead, 35 quarantined. And there's that picture again, rescue workers and sympathizers at the collapsed 4-story building in Lagos. You know,
I'll talk about our president,
saying that it's getting better.
yeah, he put a call through to, what's his name, the Guinean president. He also wrote a letter, and this happened
Alpha
after,
Conde.
yeah, after the delegates from the APC had left. He wrote a letter that he's thankful to him that he organized a national prayer for him, and he wants to tell him that he's excited, he's happy, and he's getting better. And once the doctors give their nudge, he'll come back to his duties
country.
because they are nominating him to
For
be
AU.
the AU summit to
chair the AU summit.
the summit for corruption
Nigeria
and
now.
something. But the thing is, Nigerians we've been praying for him because I know particularly, I don't know about every other church, but in my church,
Sunday.
we pray for him. So it's not just enough for you to say, I appreciate the fact that you're reaching out to the Guinean president. You also reach out to Nigerians also and appreciate that we are also looking out for you.
Video.
It's only fair.
Just the video.
That's all. Moving on to our next paper, Daily Sun. Buhari breaks silence to receive PDP APC governors. I'll return when doctors approve, says the president. Protesting youth take over National Assembly. Traders flee as flood wreaks havoc in Onitsha markets. Buildings, vehicles destroyed. Federal government, states, local governments share 652 billion naira. Buhari's health, I'm vindicated, says Kalu. Cruzel, German ambassador applauds Anambra. And that picture again. So yesterday,
I want to talk about the protest.
protesting youths. Go ahead.
So there is a new bill being pushed by Nigerian youth focused on not too young to rule.
Run.
Not too young to run.
Yes.
And the idea is to bring a constitutional amendment that will reduce the age for each political office, reducing the presidency from 40 to 35,
Yeah.
and reducing House of Representatives from 30 to 25.
Yeah.
The idea is we cannot keep saying that we want to empower the youth and then the rules on ground isn't conducive for them to even go ahead. So let us first break the, change the constitution, amend the constitution to ensure that there's opportunity for a
The law
25-year-olds
allows,
to run for House of Representative. I think it's a good one.
And I like that they blocked the National Assembly gates yesterday. It was locked, they were locked out, but they were saying that, no, you must listen to us. If I'm old enough to vote at 18, I'm old enough to be elected. Now, the concerns of some of us will be that the same youth who have grown in the corrupt environments that we have, will they be different from our parents? But they had a good excuse yesterday saying that the crop of leaders that we have now started when they were young. They were good enough to lead at their young ages. So allow the young people to participate in politics. And I agree with them.
To take the
We have to
Onitsha
run off
story
Tope. Our last paper, I'm just going to read the headlines. This day, Buhari assures Guinean president of his recovery. 7 governors visit. Constitution amendment. Horse trading as lawmakers banned along regional lines. Emefiele explains CBN's role in 9 mobile death crisis. And there's a picture unbent by Boko Haram our girls graduate from school. So with the collaboration with 2 state governments, Borno and Katsina, the Boko Haram girls that have returned, they graduated from secondary school, and we're very happy about that.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's all on Front Page Review this morning. Up next on Hot Topic, Nigeria has the largest children out of school in the world. Later on Let's Talk, what's your child doing this summer? Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. According to reports, Nigeria has the largest number of children in the world who are not being educated. UNICEF estimates that 60% of Nigerian children are not attending schools in the north of the country. Meanwhile, cultural factors have been blamed, but critics point to lack of funding for pupils not going to publicly funded schools. What are your thoughts on this? It's your view. Let it count. Please call us on 070-8066-8014 or tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view so that we can read your tweets. So statistics say that we have 10.5 million children out of school, and a lot of them are in the north. Now, we have a lot of privately run schools in the southwest, and they say that's why more children go to schools in the southwest. That is because of lack of funding of public schools. But some people are saying, no, it's cultural, that we have a lot more nomadic people in the north, and some of them, you know, based on their culture, we just have children, we go to the farm, what's the value of your education, you know, for me. But people down south are more like, even if you're going to follow in my trade, I want you to go to school so that you can better your life. What's your
These
take?
are real issues, and when it comes to education, for me, it bothers me. I'd like to think that the nomadic lifestyle of the Northerners had changed over time, because during the last administration, the former President Goodluck Jonathan had flagged off the Almajiri school project, and it was almost a success until the insurgency came to, came to the highest of it, and that destroyed a lot of things. The instability in the north is major, for me, is a major, reason why everything had, dilapidated to this point. Now, as much as we'd love to think that it's only in the north, it is happening right here in the south, and majorly because of our attitude towards public education. A lot of people cannot afford these private so-called schools. I live in an area where school is at least, there are some schools, affordable schools within 10,000 naira per term, but you find children still walking around because their parents can't even imagine how they'll pay 10,000. Now I go to the local authority school in that area, and when I see, I've stayed there a few times, especially during the elections registration for our, our cards, I saw the way the teacher was in class. She just sat like this, doing something else. The children were making noise, and then in between their noise, she keep quiet, and she'll continue with what she's doing. And in between their quiet, and I looked at the situation of the class, the structure, everything. I felt, even if I was the poorest of poor, I wouldn't bring my child here. You understand? So we have a lot of issues to face. One, the instability in the country. Two, our attitude towards the education. Three, the situation in our public schools. And this particular public school is in Lagos. So before we say Lagos is better than this one, it is in Lagos.
That's what I want to highlight.
What do you think is
Action Health.
the reason for that, attitude by teachers?
I think lackadaisical attitude, we're comfortable. There's nobody holding you accountable to a higher standard. There is a higher standard. I know that the Ministry of Education, we have our Deputy Governor who is spearheading that.
Yes.
But who is holding them accountable? So when they hear there's inspection, everybody sits up for the inspection. But when there's nobody watching to ensure that we maintain the highest standard even when nobody is watching, that's one of the problems. Someone told me in a school in Lagos where the teacher said, enter your shoe and follow me. Like it was straight from Yoruba to English. Telling me, enter your shoe and follow me. And that was from a teacher to a pupil in a primary school in Lagos. So at the end of the day, what's the quality of education we're getting from the public schools? And if those can afford, if the 60% that are not in school, it's not because they can afford it. If they can afford it, they probably will go to school. It is out of poverty. So what do we fall back on? However, I remember having, like 2 years ago, Action Health came up with a research did within Lagos in Iwaya that out of 480 children, girls they checked, about 40% of them have never been to school between age 10 and 14. They were born in Lagos, they lived in Lagos. And we will think that we are isolated because 60% abroad, I mean in the north. It's not any better anyway. The situation of education in Nigeria is critical and we are not putting our money where our mouth is.
Yes.
If we want a future for this country, we need to train the next generation to do the job they are meant to do. If we want, let's say we want to do, okay, please let me just land. If we want to improve the health sector, then we need to focus money on the kind of doctors we're churning out. If we want engineering, we need to change that. Everything lies within education and we're not prioritizing it. Lautech is still shut down after how many months? What are we doing?
Any society, right, that would be taken seriously, you'll be able to filter whether this person, they are serious or not, based on what happens to the people that are the most vulnerable, which are the children.
Okay.
It tells you whether this one is a serious country or not. And this is just exposing, the state of how we do not take priority where priority should be taken to. You asked the question that where do you think the problem lies?
Yeah.
When we even give admissions to people in colleges of education, Jumoke, it is not somebody that has straight A's that goes to the College of Education.
Or 5 C's.
It is somebody that did not pass WAEC. Now the person has to add WAEC, add NECO, add GCE. Some of them don't even make the results before they enter the school. It is while they are in school. They will keep writing and writing and writing. So because you have that window, that while you're in school, you can still quickly write all your papers before you can get your results all at once. And now we do not have people that are brains saying that I want to go and teach.
Why? So let's go to the crux of the matter.
When you go to a college of education, Jumoke, when you get into a college of education, you would cry with what you see there. The environment is horrible. It is not, at least we are even complaining that our universities are not up to standard.
Yes.
But the colleges of education, they are even worse off than the universities.
The crux of it is the lack of passion for societal development, starting from government to the teachers. I remember in primary school, I can remember Mrs. Fuji, Mrs. Awosoya. Those were my primary school teachers. They taught me to walk straight. They taught me to wear my gown and not let my, my underwear come out. In primary school. Into secondary school, my teachers would say, you have body odor. Did you use a roll-on? They taught me, teaching was passion.
They came from a system where the educational sector was prioritized. So when do you expect them to deliver differently? You cannot give what you do not have.
The lack of passion from government. Okay. When, what the government was throwing at them is what, they threw back. They just decided, okay, I'm not priority, so this is no longer priority. It's a second job. Most teachers come to school, in public schools, asking the children to pick beans and break a melon.
Do you have a call?
Yes, we have a call. Our first caller this morning. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Hello, good morning, Jumoke.
How are you,
and
sir?
The ladies. This is Ola, every time caller.
Every time caller. You're welcome once again.
This is an interesting topic because I could remember growing up, I was getting admission into primary school then. So I was like second in class. So my father was just like, I now got admission to GS1. I was promoted on trial. My father was like, no, how come? So my father had to pick me out from that public school back to a private school, which I'm even doing more better. Like, what happened to our public school? our teacher will have to let tell us, inspection. So we have to keep quiet to the day. Around after 12, if they left like this, we have to like start jumping up and down again. So we lack monitoring in this country. Every section lack monitoring. The police, the education, the health sector, everywhere we lack monitoring. That is it. Thank God. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you, Olabi. I want to go to the crux of the matter, which is that when we took over, government from the colonialists, and our leaders at the time, our nationalists, were prioritizing education. They put everything that they had into education to the extent that a lot of our young people at the time were even sent abroad. So when you are talking about teachers in those days, there were people who had passion for teaching. So they knew that their welfare was taken care of. They weren't bothered about food.
Fantastic.
A teacher that is coming to school today to say pick beans and pick something is only there just to collect 30 days, make a pay. It's not about passion. So they are the rejects of the society. The person who did not pass WAEC and could not enter for medicine and has now just gone into English education, and they do not have the passion for children. So it's from the foundation. We're now treating the symptoms.
A lecturer in the 80s rejected an top oil company job because he said, I'm sorry, you were not going to pay me as much as what the lecturer... Now, look at it, 20 years down the line. It is the flip side. So why do you expect people to go and say, with my brain, I want to go and lecture? It's not possible.
As much as I'm going to always put the blame on our leaders. Our budget for 2017 for education was 7.3%. The recommended by UN is 26%. They need to improve it. And all of them have children graduating abroad. So they send their children to better places where they can get quality education and leave Nigerians impoverished in funny schools that provide certificates and not skilled graduates.
Okay, let's take Faith.
Mr. PJ Comedy says, public school education of those days are no longer the same with these days. Only private schools make sense now. Omolaja says, the countries on the top of Human Development Index prioritize education. The backlash on the country would be severe in the future.
Okay, we have to round off, and I remember that Finland, they have 100% education of their children because their own priority is in education. And in the days when our parents had scholarship to go abroad to school, we had more skilled workers. So until our leaders put the priorities where the priorities ought to be, everything else
their children
should
start studying compulsorily in Nigeria.
Okay, so when we come back, we ask, what is your child doing this summer? Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. The holiday season is here again. For the pupils, it's time to play and relax after the stress of the school year. But for some parents, it's a temporary relief from the hassles of school runs. Not all, everyone. However, an expert says parents must ensure that their children are meaningfully engaged. Otherwise, they could use the period for destructive ventures. As the saying goes, the devil finds work for the idle hand. So we ask, how are you engaging your children this summer? Goa is organizing an event, a 3-day event, which is a lot, for children to get engaged in sporting activities, Scrabble, chess,
board games,
and IO. But lots of parents, aside from these 3 days, that you can bring your children to, lots of parents are stuck with, what do I do? 2-3 months of these children at home. You can't leave them with maids, all sorts of things can happen. You can't leave them with their mobile phones and iPads and all those tablets, because lots of things are also happening on the internet. So what are you doing?
Shame I should start.
Yeah.
Let me start.
With your 2 boys.
Trio.
Yeah.
No, the 2 boys from school. She's already used to the one she drags along.
Yeah, so my husband is not of the opinion that parents tend to find ways to ship off children. You know, so the idea is they're in school most of the year. This is supposed to be their longest holiday. And then you find somewhere to ship them into also. I think for me, I've decided that I'm going to prioritize spending more time with them to influence them. So we spend more time together. Bonding is vital. So we engage in activities. Next week we're watching a movie. They've picked the movie they want to watch. And I went yesterday to scout for what I felt would be relevant to them. We do our academic activities. So there's time for watching cartoon. During school session, my children don't watch cartoon at all. So when they're on holidays, let them watch cartoons. They watch cartoons, but they have their projects. So I have each day.
Do you supervise the cartoon watching? So you know what they're watching?
It's just 2 channels, and I've vetted the 2 channels that they're allowed to watch. Okay. Then they have projects they're supposed to do. Every morning, I'm teacher Tokwe. I set the questions, literacy, numeracy, all that they're going to do, so that they are abreast of academics. Yeah. But I want to be the one to engage my children, because I see a lot of parents that do the shipping off as a way to continue having their free time.
It's not free time.
At the end of the day.
You're busy with work.
I know. But I also now have T-Smart, my tailor, who's organized sewing classes, summer classes, and I saw a lot of young children from 10 engaged, and they were learning, they were sketching. I was impressed, because I didn't think that you could have children of that age.
That's very elitist, because if you know her pricing, it's not for the poor.
Yeah, but then they are actively working, because yesterday they were sketching, knowing what the machine, they were doing like stitches. I think that we should just not box ourselves into the conventional summer school as what children should do. I'm not doing that.
Lagos State has even disallowed summer school
for their own.
Yes, for Lagos State.
Besides, let's first correct ourselves. Summer is for the Oyibo. We have rainy season. So for our rainy season.
Thank you. Traditionalist.
Yes, for our rainy season, I personally do. I agree totally with what. Yes, we don't have summer here. I keep hearing summer coaching, and I wonder where the summer will happen. Well, in this rainy season, Ojere, you know, kids are not supposed to be out there. I personally have always allowed my daughter at least 2 hours of playtime per day. But recently, I've noticed that she's gotten addicted to television, and I'm wondering, what do you want to do? This rainy season holiday now, long holiday, I noticed that she had this flair for hair making. And everybody thought I was crazy when I bought her this mannequin to start making the hair. But yesterday,
how old is she
she's
again?
4.
Please, we have a phone call. Joshua, thanks for joining from Surulere. Oh, we lost the call.
Joshua. So yesterday on my way from work, she had just resumed her classes, and she was like, I saw her and I was like, okay, just, you know, mother, I felt, okay, I'm not pushing you too hard. Let's go. I said, no, mommy, I'm doing twisting. You can go home. When I'm done twisting all the hair, I'll come and meet you. The way she was combing out the portion she had cut, I felt so impressed.
4.
I was like,
I'm impressed.
Before I start doing 3. She said, no, I said 3. You take one here, and the third one, you put it from under, I was teaching her again. And the hairdresser was like, no wonder, you know, they were looking at me like, but I noticed that she loves twisting my hair. But I never gave her that opportunity until we went visiting my mom. And then she sat my younger sister down and made twisting on her hair. If she has that talent that my immediate elder sister has, and I want to be like my parents and say, okay, academics, 365 days a year.
Okay.
I might not be doing something right. And that's what every parent should be looking at. T-Smart might be expensive. Yeah. But there are other tailors who are affordable. Okay. It doesn't have to be Western education every 365 days a year. Involve your child in anything, skill, you know, prepare them for the future.
Before we come to OA, let's take Yakub. Good morning, Yakub. Thanks for joining the conversation this morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, everybody, because of your time.
Long time, sir.
Please, I think I want to say something about the earlier topic. Before I go to this very particular one. You see, it is unfortunately that we are going to continue for the long time in this kind of situation we find ourselves in this country about the public school. You know why? Why? All these leaders, you have said it in the studio earlier, their children are not here in Nigeria. How do you think that those kind of people will definitely pump money into that sector? They will never do so. Until they provide a law whereby they made it compulsory for them, their children to be school here in Nigeria. But we are going to amend the constitution Are they not the same leader? That is why I said it is unfortunately that we are going to continue for the long period of time for this kind of situation. That's
Thank you.
a very particular topic. For me, I purposely asked my daughter that, what do you intend to do in this kind of holiday that you found yourself? She said that, Daddy, every day that I go to my school, I normally saw a woman that did a bead and how to tie a gele. He likes to do that. Gele, tie. Also, that you want to learn how to make a bead.
Make beads and tie
Go
gele.
there, ask the woman how much she wants to collect. The woman gives me a bill, and then I've already paid. And then
Nice one.
It is not only for this holiday, because this money that you collected is much. So anytime my children have opportunities, you'll be coming.
They will come back.
Yes. To allow her to pass.
Well done, Yakub. Please, I tie gele if you are just looking for anyone to teach how to tie gele. But are you impressed with parents who are focusing on their children's talents and taking them to learn hairdressing, gele, sewing? You know, is that the right way to go?
I mean, for me, that is exciting. When I hear parents say that they're doing that, it makes me happy because that is actually the way to go. I was watching a documentary on, was it on CNN now? Young children, entrepreneurs that are making serious money that you and I, Jumoke, have not seen. And these children, they are within the ages of 9, 10, 11, from birthed out of passion. Okay. Now, this young girl, she loves making small dresses for puppies, for her puppy. So she started looking at it that I can actually make this thing accessories. So she makes a bow tie, she makes, so they are handcrafted, you know, accessories that she's making. And look at the puppy now. The business has blossomed and she's making crazy money. She has to have a team, have boardroom meetings. These are things that you and I are not exposed to. We don't understand what it means that...
When you focus on NEPA,
do you understand? You know, so, but, you know, my own son, for instance, now, he's currently, Daystar Leadership Academy for teens is ongoing. Yeah. And he asked his dad that, I mean, can I volunteer to go and, like, serve, because he's not a teenager yet, he's 10, but he's volunteering within the, what's it called, the Daystar Leadership Academy. And I think it's part of the surveillance group, you know, so as I'm asking, okay, what are you doing? I think that is basically just learning leadership because some children are not gifted in their hands with craft, but they also have minds that are working. So you need to be able to engage them. You know, talking about dumping, sorry, darling, talking about dumping children. You know, the first day of that DLA, my son came back home, he was distraught, he was angry. I said, what happened? He said, I saw 10-year-olds, I saw 11-year-olds that are not teenagers yet, they were in the class. I said, see, it is where to dump them to. But by the next day, because of course we are the one teaching leadership and honesty, by the next day they had sieved up all those underage people. You know, I think, you know, you can just find something that is creative for the child to do.
Okay, so we have Laja Martins on the phone. Laja. Good morning, Laja. Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yes,
morning.
I want to talk about the first program. Yes, I want to talk about the first program.
First topic.
The first topic on the program.
Please go ahead, sir.
Until teachers are treated as professionals and given special grants, especially the sciences. When teachers go to study sciences, you study chemistry, physics, mathematics, you must be treated as professionals. When I was in school, I remember that government used to pay the science teachers 25% over and above their salaries, and people were eager. But you find those who study sciences now, they go to the professional courses like surveying, engineering, geology, and so on. We must encourage our people to study sciences. We are gradually going into a serious problem where we don't have scientists made again.
Very true.
And on this other subject of making the children enjoy their vacation, I have 3 girl children. They are girls. I have 3 girls. They are grown-ups now, but before then, what I do during their holidays, one will go for catering, one will go for sewing,
and
the other one will go for hairdressing or something like that.
Thank you so very much, Latoya Martins. Okay, so we have to go on a quick break. After that break, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right, thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the activities to engage young children who are out of school on their summer holidays in. And I've not heard anyone who mentioned dancing. I love to dance, so imagine that you send your children for, dancing classes.
Doing something like that.
Or swimming classes. I know that a lot of schools have swimming lessons for children.
In their summer break.
Yes, swimming classes. Also,
let me tell you something interesting, my friend.
Music, maybe an instrument.
Something interesting my friend is doing this summer. I think it's even starting today. You know, she's taking the children to some fun place in Ogudu, and guess what they're teaching them? They're teaching them how to protect your body, against, because she focuses on child abuse. Okay. So she teaches children from a very young age how to protect yourself against pedophiles. So they're teaching them karate, they're teaching them self-defense, they're teaching them so many things, but in a fun, loving environment. It's going to be a 3-day event.
Nice. We have a phone call. Wumi has called in from Ogba. That's our first female caller today.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. My contribution is concerning the first topic.
We know.
This morning is concerning the remuneration of the teachers.
Okay.
You have to look at the remuneration of the teachers, and you have to also look at the length of service. Most of the teachers we have, they have spent 35 years in service and they are old. In private school, you can just compare the length of service. You cannot see a woman of like 65, all these old women in the school. When you go to this public school, you see the teachers. My mom was a teacher. She spent almost 35 years in service, and she was an headmistress, still teaching primary 1 students. You cannot get the same thing. But you need these young sharp graduates that are just leaving university to come into the system, to deliver better things. Whenever go to University of Lagos, you see people studying on their Faculty of Education. After finishing, there's no job. They don't bring them to the service. Then what would they, and by the time they come to the service again, they are looking at 35 years. What are they planning for their own future personally?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yumi.
So I want to talk about, I know a lot of parents are watching and still questioning in their mind, what can my child do? If your child is gifted with skills, watch out and improve on the skills. If not, there are coding classes. My nephew enrolled in one, started this Monday. Fantastic. Learn how to code from 10 and above. You can also get your child employment for the vacation period, those 2 months, to help them get experience in customer service and make money, so they understand value for getting money for service. Money. Also, you can involve them in swimming, karate teaching, like she mentioned. Also, you can expose them to other parts of Nigeria. Okay. So go and know Nigeria. Take them to...
How do I do that?
So
travel.
Do you have the time?
No, travel.
I'll leave my work.
No, but that's the plan, is for you to take your vacation within the summer holiday.
No,
you can have family time together.
Because later
on weekends.
Next month, my daughter is traveling to Lokoja. We'll have a family relative, a family member in Lokoja, and she'll be visiting
Who is she traveling with?
Our auntie.
Who is she traveling with?
A family member will be going down, so we're initially hoping that the person would go by flight, but because we wanted to give her the plane experience, but if not, we must take her
in this time
find a way around
predators who are mostly family members. How do you entrust your child to a family member traveling? You cannot supervise.
To answer Nima, when my children were going to go to Kaduna on their own, I entrusted them in the hands of the air hostess. There's every likelihood that they will not be molested by an outsider, because they already understand that there's a barrier. This is a stranger. But you see, the pedophiles and the people that harm our children, abuse our children, are usually people that are close to home. I wanted to quickly say that after all the summer, the parents have spent money. When they prepare their children for the OSFI board game tournament, there is time a reward, because they are going to get some cash prizes that go towards their school fees.
Okay, so let's take tweets.
So finally,
as we round off.
Okay, let's say my boy rests till end of July, but he wants a software coding or robotics lesson.
Wow.
Excellent.
But the big issue is the money as usual. You see, that's why they need to come to us. Come and make money.
Invest in them.
That's for Momolaja.
Well, my tweets are not loading right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Tosin says, my mom was a teacher, but she learned how to sew in her in her teens. She is retired now, but sews women's clothes.
Okay, so as we round off, I'm going to have to link our hot topic to the Let's Talk, which is the value that we place on education, as well as the value that we place on the recreation of children when they're on holidays will determine the kind of leaders that we will have in future. So our politicians, we have to have a law that ensures that their own children go to Nigerian schools only. That way, the quality of our education will improve. And until we place a value, meaning remuneration, on what teachers are paid, to the extent that they are even fighting to get into the teaching profession. It's not for miscreants or people who failed WAEC that we bring to come and teach children. Then once again, the value for education will go up. And also, please be aware of where your children are playing during these holidays. Please be careful who you place them in care of. You have to supervise. You cannot delegate parenting to someone else.
I wanted to say Nigerian public schools.
Okay.
Yes, for politicians.
So thank you very much for being a part of the show today. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Bye.